Guys, I have not done an in the bag for this season yet. I thought it'd be kind of cool if I did one. I just got the ability to do live streams on my channel very recently. I hadn't tried it yet, so also trying a new tripod since I broke mine filming the mud swap. And I'm not sure how I like this one yet, but we'll see. So, if anyone's watching, feel free to jump in, ask questions, keep it civil, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. But let's jump into it, and I'll show you guys what I've got in the bag this year. I'm still carrying my Grip A Series bag. It's about 5 years old. Held up really well. Really like this bag a lot. It was a gift from my wife for Christmas a few years ago, and couldn't have asked for it to do any better than it has. So for the putters, I'm still carrying Swan 2s. We've got 3 of them, 2 of these lavender soft ones, and then this white mega soft one that I use for like uneven approaches, hillsides, and anywhere where I might be scared of a roll away. They don't make mega soft plastic anymore, but it's almost like blowfly type floppy. Not for everything, but I do have an ace with it, so it flies pretty decent for a disc that floppy. In the utility slot, I'm still rocking the Stego. This is my glow Stego that I use for glow golf and regular rounds, so it's a lot of fun. Really super overstable. This one's pretty beat up, but it still flies really beefy, and I like it a lot. If you haven't tried one of these, they've got some tar pit ones for sale on Reptilian Disc Golf right now. And then I also carry in like the utility and approach slot a soft Envy. I actually started throwing these several years ago, took a little bit of a break, and then started throwing them again right before James threw in the shot with one of these. So no one believes me that I was throwing these before he did that, but it's pretty cool, and I like it a lot for those flip up to straight shots. Really light fade, and overall throws really well. I enjoy that one a lot. And then I carry 2 Prodigy A2s. I carry a soft Austin Hannum one, which is good for those hit and stick shots, and then really overstable 751 that was a gift from a friend of mine. This one's great for approach forehands and basically anything under 300 feet where I'm trying to make sure it finishes right, or if it's under 250, sometimes I'll throw it on a spike backhand to get some skip. It's almost got like a driver shaped wing. It's, you know, people compare it to the Zone and Heart, but it's way thinner. So if you don't like that thick chunky feel in the hand like a Zone or Entropy has, that's a really good alternative. And that'll bring us to the mid-ranges. I carry 2 mid-range molds really. The MIDI, which I have the Alpha plastic and the Glow plastic. The Alpha one's a little more overstable. I can throw this one as hard as I want to, flat backhand, and it'll go straight, almost no turn at all, and then a hard, late, sharp fade. And if you look at the profile, it's almost like a Buzz, but the wing's higher, and it's a little bit slimmer feeling in the hand. So if you like that like rock barred type throw, but you prefer the, you know, thinner feel like a Buzz, that's a really good alternative. And the Glow one's not that overstable. It glows really well. It actually is up there with like MVP or Casaplast Glow, and is a little bit less stable. So if you want it to turn a little bit, this one will flip up and turn. Comes back a little bit, but pretty soft as well. And then in the overstable mid-range slot, I carry 2 of these DD Open Justices. They're even flatter than your stock run Justice. So you've got to look at that one there. They're really flat. They're actually in the Moonshine Air plastic, and you would think that would make them less overstable, but they're so flat they're actually a little bit beefier than almost every other run that I've thrown. So I use these for forehand shots that are like in between 250 and even up to around 350 if I need it to go and skip a pretty good ways. I've got an ace with this one and really like these guys a lot. Actually looked like the Trilogy players could have used some beefy mid-ranges at the DD Open this last weekend, so maybe they should have stocked up on those to be prepared. Going into fairways, I carry like 3 fairway molds really. I've got 2 T-birds. These are both kind of beefy T-birds. They got a metal flake and an older glow run. They both go straight to fade really well. I use these like 300 to 370 feet. This one's a little bit more overstable, so if I throw it flat, it'll penetrate for a long ways and then have a looping sharp fade. And this one's got a little bit of turn on it now. It's from 2014. I've only been throwing it since about 2020 though, and it didn't have much wear on it before then. But it throws almost like the midi, where it'll go straight with just a little bit of turn and then a sharp, soft fade at the end. And I do carry 1 tournament burst stag. That's like my turnover backhand driver. If I want to throw rollers, I'll break this one out, but usually it's like a hyzer flip through the woods that I don't really want it to finish that hard left. It's a great disc for that. If you got a little bit slower arm speed, it's a really good alternative, and they're available again after being basically out of stock for 2 years. I've got another one of my sponsor discs, the Lone Star disc. I've got the Alpha Mad Cat. And Mad Cat is awesome because the stamp is hilarious. You look at that there, he looks kind of like an angry version of Garfield, and apparently one of the owner's sons drew this one, and he's like 4 or 5 years old, so that's kind of awesome. And it throws a lot like an old SPD. So it's beefy, but it's not crazy overstable. So for your average players, it's a great forehand disc, wind fighting disc, and I like to use it on backhands where the T-bird's just not quite enough, or on forehands where it doesn't need to finish that hard. So I'll throw it on a flat forehand, it'll drift to the left a little bit, and then it'll finish right, but not like a big, hard, biting fade like I would go for with this next one. So that's the Flare. I carry 3 in the neutron line, 2 cosmic and 1 regular. They're all really overstable. The only difference in these is amount of wear and weight. So this one is a 165, so it's a little bit less overstable. Use this one for spike hyzer backhands and forehands where I'm really trying to pump it out there between 350, 400 feet. And then this one is super overstable where much over 375 is going to be an effort. And this one's kind of right in the middle. I actually have an ace with that one at, where'd I get that one? Course out and coming, long one. Chattahoochee Point, that's the one. Hole 11, should just read the disc. It's got it on the back here. Ace on hole 11, Chattahoochee Point. It's around 330 feet. Got it with a forehand spike hyzer. And so I use these guys a lot, mainly for forehands, but I'll throw them on some backhand skip shots as well. Then I carry 4 distance drivers. One of them is the Curl from Lone Star. I carry 2 in the Bravo line. This one's a little bit less stable than that one. There's no real difference between them feel-wise, but for whatever reason, it's not beat in more, it just flips a little bit. Throw these guys on backhand hyzer flips up around 375, 400 feet. They ride really well, and I enjoy the way they feel. Really nice gummy plastic, and if you like a Wraith, this is like a nice beat-in Wraith type feel. And then my last Lone Star disc is the new Warbird. I really like this one. It's also in the Bravo plastic, but if you get a look at that one, it's like a clear, gummy, urethane-based plastic like a Champ or 400 type plastic. And it's a lot like a Destroyer or D2. It rides really well, good glide, but nicely stable. So if you throw it into some wind, it's gonna fight through it for you without turning over too much. And then I also carry, for extreme forehand flexes and really windy stuff, I've got the Adder here. The Nico VIPX ones are just crazy beefy. They've got this weird profile too, really flat from the wing, and then like a little bump dome right there in the middle. So it's got a little bit of glide, but overall just really overstable. And I know if I'm gonna throw something as hard as I can into a headwind, that's the disc I'm gonna reach for. And out at the pasture a few weeks ago, there was a tournament where the wind was just whipping all day. I threw this one a ton. It saved me a lot of strokes. My main forehand distance driver is the Warhorse. I carry 2 or 3 of these depending on the course. Usually 2, since you're only breaking out a max distance forehand a couple times around on most of the courses around here. They're out of production now, but I carry a first run and a final run. This one's a little more overstable since this one's a little bit older and beat in, but they fly similar. Just this one will turn some if I throw it hard. This one will not turn unless you force it over, and it will go a long way. Throw these guys up above 500 feet sometimes and really enjoy the way they feel and fly. Probably switch over to either the Bowie or the Adder when eventually I run out or can't find them anymore, but for now I'm really enjoying those. I'll show you some of the other things that I've got in my bag right now. I've got the Deerfield Big Water Stick, telescoping, disc retriever there. Got my Etowah Mud Swap tag and current Etowah League tag. Number 3 in the league right now. The guy who has the number 1 tag hasn't shown up in quite some time. So Justin, if you watch this, come to league so I can take that number 1 away from you. Or maybe Landon will, but one of us is gonna take that tag. And then I carry a few different hand dryers. We've got the birdie bag style one, a whale sack, and then an older Discraft one that I don't use as much, but if it's wet, that one actually does really well. And then in the side pocket here, towels. Towels on towels. Spring in Georgia, you're gonna want as many towels as you can carry. I always tell people, pack the amount of towels you need, then add 2 more. And that's usually what's gonna get you through a round here in Georgia in the spring. Always carry a couple Sharpies to make sure I got my disc marked up properly before a tournament. And then a couple little pencils for scorecards when you have to do a paper one still. Then my daughter actually slipped these into my bag, different rounds. It's a rock from Etowah and a rock from Deerfield. So no matter where I'm playing, I have a little piece of my home courses wherever I go. So that was very cool. This one's from the hill of number 4 where the cave hole is. And this one's from the creek by number 11 at Deerfield. So pretty cool. Always have a little piece of the course with me. And also carry a lacrosse ball. I found that that was easiest to knock disc out of trees with before the retriever came along, and I can still hit them with that if I can't reach it with a retriever. And then you guys, you're disc golfers, you know this. Sometimes you're out in the woods, the bathrooms are locked, you can't get to one in time. So I carry a couple of these sanitary emergency kits that have like toilet paper, wet wipes, disposable bags, hand sanitizer, all in there, and they have saved my butt quite literally a couple times. So it doesn't look like anyone's watching anymore. Had a couple people viewing. If you tuned in, thank you very much for watching. Don't see any questions on here. I've gone through everything in my bag, so let me check the chat, make sure no one asked anything. Yeah, no one had any questions for the AMA, even though I had a couple viewers. So thank you guys if you tuned in. Thank you again if you're watching afterwards, and really appreciate you guys watching my In the Bag. So thank you very much. Have a good evening, and let's make some putts.